Honestly, this fresh Juvederm is a look. Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today I was feeling festive. I like how I was saying today, like as if I haven't been celebrating Christmas since September 1st. Anyway, today I was feeling extra festive, I guess. So I have on my Charlie Brown pajamas. I like how I also say I have on as if I haven't been wearing them for the past 4 days. I felt like, let's make a fucking gingerbread house. I thought it would be really fun. This gingerbread house they sell at Target is randomly vegan. I don't know why, which is annoying because the pre-made one isn't vegan. And not that I'm gonna eat it because I kind of don't like gingerbread houses are kind of gross, but I figured it would be very, very fun to decorate a gingerbread house while I talk about some pop culture conspiracy theories and some true crime ones as well. We're gonna be talking about JonBenet, Ariana Grande, I love a rhyming moment, all of that shit. I'm very excited, but first let's crack this bitch open. To be completely honest, I'm literally going to use hot glue to glue the gingerbread house pieces together because they never stay, and it's honestly really just aggravating. The first thing I want to talk about, because I feel bad clickbaiting, but this is kind of clickbait in the sense of I was not in Ariana Grande's new music video. I mean, I'm gonna put a question mark, like that bitch. I don't know who that bitch is, but like, you know, that puts question mark being like, got arrested, question mark, exclamation point, but then they like didn't. But ever since the Thank You Next music video came out, you guys have been tweeting me, commenting, DMing me non-fucking stop because you think this random girl in like one of the scenes is me. I can't say that I don't see it. Like, yeah, we were both like dark hair, glasses. I get compared to a lot of different people that have dark hair and glasses. It's pretty much the only criteria to get compared to. Like, literally somebody told me I look like Sniper Wolf, and I was like, I think that you guys don't know what people look like. But yeah, I didn't even notice this girl the first time I watched the video, actually. No, I didn't notice it. I was kind of just on the scout for Victorious members because I knew she had Matt Bennett, Daniela Monet, and Liz Gillies. I wanted to see if she threw in anybody else, but I don't think she did. But yeah, like a couple minutes after the video came out, I got like so many tweets being like, you were in the Thank You Next music video. Like, people genuinely thought that it was me, and I was like, thank you, but why would I ever be in an Ariana Grande music video? It was really funny, honestly, but like, cause I feel like I could genuinely trick people to think that like I was actually in it, but like the best part of being in a music video with Ariana Grande, I feel like would be, you know, the experience of being in a music video with Ariana Grande, which obviously I didn't have, you know? No, that's not me. I don't know who it is, actually. I think it might be like not the original Tracy Turnblad, because that's Ricki Lake and that's definitely not her, but one of the original Tracy Turnblads on Broadway. I'm not positive though. I really don't know. I feel like I usually know everybody that Ariana knows. I mean, obviously Ariana's been popping off recently, which is super dope and really cool for her. Why am I using my left hand? I'm literally, this is probably why I'm so bad at gingerbread houses. If you know me, then you know that I've been an OG Ariana bitch for probably almost 9 years, 2010. So hop off. No, I'm just kidding. I hate when people are like, I liked them first, so you can't. Honestly, she should have put me in it. Like, I literally have Thank You Next tattooed on me forever, but it's fine. Just get a lookalike, it's fine. A lot of like my family members and friends like thought that it was me, and like they were like, well, like not like close friends, because obviously if I was in an Ariana Grande music video they would know, but like random people like on Facebook, because I decided to post it on Facebook because I was like, that's so jokes, and a lot of people actually did think it was me. Actually, my dad thought it was me, which is concerning because like he lives here. Like, did he just think that I didn't, that I just like happened to like go to California really quick without him knowing? Like, I'm actually concerned with that. You know what I mean? Like, dad was like, oh, that is you. And I was like, no. I tweeted asking what true crime cases and what conspiracy theories that you wanted me to talk about. And speaking of Ariana, we're gonna continue with something that like actually kind of creeped me out, except for I think that it's just like fake. Like I don't think it's like, I think it was just like a prank, which is honestly terrible. Somebody posted on Instagram saying that this video was posted onto YouTube, but then it was like later deleted. Like a weird video with like Get Well Soon, Ariana's song, playing, which she wrote about, you know, the Manchester attack, how she felt after that. So it's that song playing in the background, but it's like really fucking menacing and like creepy as hell. I'm gonna link it because I'm scared to put it in here. And it says it has a date on it, which was 3/18/19 on it, which is the date of Ariana's first show for the Sweetener tour, which obviously is like a little concerning because people thought this was like another like threat to the show, which like I said, I think that it's just like a prank, like a sick prank, because people are disgusting and they like to scare people and it's fucked up. But however, I'm sure like a lot of you guys like were tweeting this to me. I'm sure that somebody has seen it and like is taking precautions. However, Ariana like personally made sure after the Manchester attack that like this show and like her show, because she continued the tour after it, had so much security, like more than like what's required at a venue. So I think that there's nothing to worry about. I wouldn't say don't like freak out, don't get all scared if you're going to that show. It's in Albany, New York, but I would say that it's probably gonna be super safe security at any of the Sweetener tour shows, so that's good. I'm like, okay, should I break it up? I have another Ariana conspiracy theory that actually freaks me out, but I think I'll save that till the end because I want to talk about the case of JonBenet Ramsey. This was super suggested to talk about. I have done a video on this, however, it's really old and really bad. Like it's from probably 2 years ago and it's so ugly. I don't explain things well at all. It's honestly just awful. It's like a 20-minute video and I really feel like you just need a quick rundown, so I'm gonna give you the rundown. And I don't think that there's like anything else that's really that important to know. Like there's stuff obviously that's important and like you could spend hours researching it and like hours like watching documentaries and all that shit, but like I honestly feel like all you need to know is gonna be in this video. I'm like a tell-all moment. Basically, if you guys don't know who JonBenet Ramsey is, she was a little pageant girl who was murdered in 1996. Is one of the probably, if not the biggest case of all time. Like it is the biggest unsolved case probably ever. We know that like the child was murdered. We knew that something happened to her. We just don't know who did it. We don't know who did it. You know what I mean? Basically, the rundown of the situation is that the Ramseys woke up on December 26, 1996 in their home in Boulder, Colorado. The Ramsey family mother, Patsy Ramsey, realized that her daughter, JonBenet Ramsey, was missing, and she discovered, I'm putting in quotes because we're not really sure and you'll understand why later. She discovered a ransom note that was basically saying that this person or this team of people kidnapped JonBenet and that if the Ramsey family wanted her back, they would have to give $118,000, which is obviously weird because it's a very specific sum of money. $118,000, like why wouldn't you just write $200,000 or $150,000? It just is kind of weird. However, something that makes it kind of connect maybe a little bit is that John Ramsey, which was JonBenet's father, got really close to $118,000 for his bonus for that year, because people usually get bonus in December. Obviously, Patsy Ramsey called the police. Police showed up and began to search the house. However, they kind of searched from top to bottom rather than from bottom to top. And JonBenet's body was actually in the cellar and it was found by John Ramsey, her father. John Ramsey actually carried JonBenet's body upstairs, which is a huge no-no because obviously I feel like, I mean, maybe in the moment like you see something like that and it's just so, you know, stressful, whatever, but it's very bad to tamper with the evidence. And obviously someone's body is like the most evident thing. So like, I just thought that was really weird that he did that, because usually they tell you like not to touch anything on a crime scene. And, but that I guess was his alleged first reaction to seeing his daughter like that. I mean, either way, it's really sad We're gonna get into some theories in a second. I'm just trying to glue this fucking gingerbread house, you know? It was concluded that JonBenet Ramsey had died of strangulation. Basically, this was a little bit weird because she was actually hit over the head with a really, really strong object. It was concluded that that wasn't what killed her, and what actually killed her was the strangulation of a garrote, which was made from a paintbrush out of Patsy Ramsey's art kit. Of course, because JonBenet's body was found and it was clear that she was murdered, this began an investigation to see what could have happened to JonBenet Ramsey. So first we're going to talk about like the evidence that is at hand, or at least, you know, most of it, because like I said, this is just a rundown of kind of like the most important stuff about the situation. I mean, like I said, I'll link the video that I have below, but I'm like, don't watch it because it's kind of ugly. Most people believed at the time, and still believe, that the Ramseys are the guilty party in the situation. There's a lot of reasoning behind why people think that the Ramseys did it. Obviously, that's just kind of standard. A lot of people will look into the family first because it happened in their house, obviously. So it just is very odd. Also, it's important to note that the Ramseys are extremely wealthy people. I think it's important to note because even though it was the 90s, I feel like security systems were a thing, so I don't know why they didn't have one. You know, because they were obviously quite wealthy of a family. So that is kind of weird to a lot of people. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call them guilty because of that reason. Ramseys were really looked at and scrutinized for basically two main factors. The first factor was obviously the ransom note. Why would you write a ransom note and not follow through with like the point of the ransom note? Like, what would be the point of killing this child? I mean, I guess you could say maybe like she wasn't cooperating, but like the ransom note was really strange to a lot of people because this ransom note was extremely lengthy, and that would be, you know, to each their own. Maybe this fucking bitch is a writer, who knows? But the thing that's weird about the ransom note is that it was concluded that it was definitely written in the Ramsey home. So obviously that is super, super suspicious, because why the hell would you sit there and write a ransom note after you've either, you know, after they murdered the kid or right before you're like about to take them? Why would you sit in the house and write a freaking whole ass ransom note? I just think that's bizarre. And a lot of people think that this is bizarre because usually, you know, you want to get in and get out when you're committing a crime. You don't want to just like stay there and hang out for a minute. Different forensic officers did this, like rewrote the ransom note knowing what it said. Obviously, you have to take in consideration when somebody is writing a ransom note. They might have had an idea of what they were gonna say, but when it's like a 4-page fucking note, they probably had to think of things as they were writing. And just to write the note alone, even if they were copying it, took a long time. So a lot of people thought that this was very, very fucking strange. I think it's very strange, and I don't think that like a person, you know, would necessarily do that. Not only that, but the handwriting was actually very, very similar to Patsy Ramsey's handwriting. John Ramsey was actually cleared, like it was not his handwriting, but Patsy Ramsey, it was inconclusive and they couldn't tell whether it was or wasn't. But in my opinion, it looks a lot like her handwriting. So the second biggest reason that people think that the Ramseys are guilty is also because there was no sign of forced entry at all. There was no footprints in the snow, which obviously they lived in Colorado, so, and this was at Christmas time, so there was obviously a lot of snow going on, but there was 0 footprints at all. If there were to be an intruder, it was seen that they could have possibly went in through the basement. Like basically, I don't know if you've ever been in a house that has a basement, but like it's below the ground. Me stating the most normal, like everybody fucking knows that a basement is below the ground. But either way, usually if you see a house, there's either steps that go down to the basement, like even outside, or sometimes there's just like little windows that you can see into the basement. And somebody could theoretically, like there was a window in the Ramsey house in the basement where a person could theoretically climb through. However, one of the most damning evidence is that there were cobwebs on the side of this window. Going through this window, it would have more than likely disturbed the cobwebs. Like, it would have been very, very hard to not fuck up the cobwebs that were already there. So a lot of people take this as the killer was definitely somebody inside the Ramsey house. Maybe it was a coincidence and they just happened to leave the cobwebs undisturbed. But like I said, that would have been very, very hard to do. So like I said, initially JonBenet's family were suspects. They were treated as suspects. They were treated very poorly by the public because people thought that they killed their daughter, obviously. They were actually ruled out of being suspects at all because foreign DNA was found on JonBenet's pajamas and underwear. However, which this piece of evidence is so important and I feel like it's very looked over in this case, hence why the Ramseys were ruled out, which is stupid because they should not be ruled out. This DNA evidence actually is very inconclusive because now that DNA technology has advanced a lot, forensic specialists came together and, you know, wanted to test this theory, which is essentially that there could be foreign DNA on the pajamas or underwear from the manufacturer. Specialists tested this from a pair of store-bought underwear. Like, they got some underwear from like Target or something, store-bought, completely sealed up, and they opened it and tested it for DNA, and there was DNA on it, even though it hadn't been touched yet. Obviously, basically rules out the evidence that exonerated the Ramseys. So they could easily have done this, but they're technically ruled out because of this DNA evidence, which I think is bizarre and probably part of the reason why it's unsolved. I massaged this icing for 2 minutes. We're gonna talk about some of the theories. Obviously, the probably least popular theory is that people think that it was actually an intruder. I'm not ruling it out. It's definitely a possibility. Also, maybe I shouldn't say what I actually think happened because I could probably get sued for defamation of character, but honestly, just like don't sue me because I'm really not in the mood for that. Like, you know what I mean? Although it would be kind of funny, be like, I was sued by a Ramsey, you know, but don't. Honestly, they would have to sue a lot of people, so don't even come for me. I'm like, my sister's boyfriend's dad is an attorney, so fuck you. This is definitely the least popular theory, is that people actually do think that it was an intruder. Like I said, it is possible. So there was an actual guy who literally confessed to doing it. However, it was proven that he was literally not in Colorado at the time. He was ruled out. A lot of people think that it was this Santa who was really fucking creepy, not gonna lie. The Santa was a little weird. Like, I'm not saying that he was a killer, but like, he was weird. So he said that like, the Santa said that JonBenet Ramsey was like a very special child to him, very important to him. He liked this child a lot, which isn't that weird. What is really weird about this guy basically is that JonBenet gave him a like little vial of glitter, and he like kept this really close to his heart because obviously as a Santa, like a fake Santa, you give children gifts usually. So like, he was like, JonBenet was the first child who ever gave me a gift, and it was really important to me, which, you know, is sweet and cute, until he went to go get surgery and he asked his wife that if something happened to him to mix his ashes with the glitter that was given to him by JonBenet Ramsey, and I'm honestly concerned with that. Like, that's concerning, like, not gonna lie, but he did not match the DNA that was found on JonBenet's PJs and underwear, so therefore was ruled out as a suspect, which is once again stupid because that DNA could be literally anybody. It could be a manufacturer, it could be anything. I'm not gonna rule it out, but I don't really think that's what happened. So, now we're gonna talk about probably the most popular theory, which is that Burke Ramsey, JonBenet's older brother who was 9 years old at the time, accidentally killed JonBenet. This theory, I will say, just kind of has the most evidence. Quite important to actually note that JonBenet was found with pineapple in her system. Patsy Ramsey claims she never fed JonBenet pineapple. There was a bowl of pineapple and milk, which is, you know, a weird combination, but, you know, I'm not gonna judge someone for that. It's found in the kitchen. However, the bowl and the spoon both only had Burke Ramsey and Patsy Ramsey's fingerprints on it, and none of JonBenet's. This is obviously pretty interesting, and people kind of formed a theory surrounding around this pineapple. So the theory goes that Burke Ramsey was having a little late night snack moment of pineapple and milk. I guess the Ramsey kids ate that, and it was JonBenet's favorite snack, actually. JonBenet heard her brother having a late night snack, so she came downstairs, grabbed a piece of pineapple directly from the bowl, which would make sense because that is why there was pineapple in her system and no fingerprints of JonBenet's on the bowl or the spoon. Grabbed her brother's pineapple, her brother got upset, grabbed a flashlight, and hit her in the head very hard. So that is kind of the theory, and then the theory continues with the parents actually covering up the murder of JonBenet because they didn't want their one kid left to be, you know, sentenced to prison for the rest of his life, and also scrutinized heavily. Hitting with her with a flashlight, they might have thought that she was dead because this blow to the head would obviously probably knock somebody out because it really severely injured her skull. So the theory is that it knocked her out and they thought that she was dead, so they made the garrote to make it look like she was strangled. I don't know why the parents would do that. I mean, who knows what they would do like at a time of panic, but that's basically the theory, is that they wanted to make it look like something else happened. Not only that, but the Ramsey family flashlight was actually completely wiped. There was no fingerprints on it whatsoever, none on the batteries, which is super, super strange because obviously if you tested my flashlight right now, there'd probably be a ton of fingerprints on it from my family members just because that's obviously natural. So it's bizarre that there was 0 fingerprints because obviously the flashlight had been wiped down. Yet they don't really do anything about this theory, which I think is so weird and kind of annoying. So the theory continues. A lot of forensic specialists believe this theory because they have actually tested it by bringing in a 9-year-old boy who is around the size of Burke Ramsey, and then they made like a life-size doll, which was like a human skull and like pig skin surrounding it because it's like close to human skin. I don't know, it's kind of gross, but you can actually watch this. And they gave the kid a flashlight, hit the doll over the head, break the skull the same way that like JonBenet's was, and it would, and like a 9-year-old actually could do this, was basically what they were trying to prove, because a lot of people were like, no, like a 9-year-old kid couldn't hit a child that hard with a flashlight, but they actually could because it was proven that. The evidence would, it would make the most sense because obviously you don't want to think that like the parents just maliciously like murdered their child, which is another, you know, theory obviously, is that John or Patsy Ramsey actually killed JonBenet willingly, and like that there was sexual abuse involved with the situation, because sometimes the pageant industry can be kind of corrupt like that, like with, you know, pedophilia and like really disgusting dark stuff. So even the people that do think that like it was an intruder, they do think that it had to do with the pageants and like the pedophilia regarding that, which is really sad and disgusting, obviously. So that's kind of the theories though. What do you think happened? I feel like that's kind of like, it just is really, really sus. There was no fingerprints on the flashlight. It can pretty much be guaranteed that no matter who did it, that the flashlight was probably what was used to hit her in the head. Why else would somebody wipe it? The way the ransom note is just so freaking weird. It just doesn't make sense to me for it to be an intruder. Like I'm saying, it's not impossible, but I just don't really think that. This is like one of those true crime cases that like, this is probably the one that I want to be solved the most. But what do you guys think happened? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below. That's what I want to know. Like, I love how I just took a segment of this video to talk about true crime. Let's get back to more lighthearted conspiracy theories. Actually, this conspiracy theory isn't lighthearted at all. It has to do with Ariana Grande again, because we love sister Ariana. An Ariana Grande stan account called Greedy for Grande tweeted this, and I found it rather interesting. Back to April, and on the day that No Tears Left to Cry was released, Avicii died. That happened in April, and then in June, the day that The Light Is Coming was released, the rapper XXX actually died as well that same day. The day the full album Sweetener was released, Aretha Franklin passed away. That Thank You Next went #1, Stan Lee passed away. The day that Thank You Next music video came out, George Bush died. So I just think that's really weird. However, it's complicated because I feel like the only like weird deaths were, or like unexpected I guess, were Avicii and XXX. Aretha Franklin and George Bush Sr. were old. So it's not like that surprising. And Stanley was actually sick, which is really sad, of course, but you know, it wasn't unexpected necessarily. Like, people knew that he was going to pass away. You know, it is weird the way that it happens. I guess a lot of people think that like, oh my God, Ariana Grande is a part of the Illuminati, and that is why all these people are dying when she's posting things and like doing things. I don't think that. Like, I never go to like the Illuminati route. I don't know why people always do. I guess because it's interesting. But that's not what I go to. My go-to is actually that, like, if anything other than a coincidence, I think that it means that we're living in a simulation, and the person playing the game gets bored and just like wants to make all these things happen at once. So I don't know. Kenzie says, what conspiracy theory do you believe in the most, the least, and what one do you hate talking about the most? Okay, interesting. The conspiracy theory that I believe in the most is definitely anything that's related to either Tupac, Biggie, or especially Biggie. I really truly think that I know who murdered Biggie Smalls. Kendall Ray did a video on it. I did a video on it. A lot of people did videos on it, but like, honestly, I'm like, I would recommend Kendall's over mine. It's way better, so I'll link it below. Me not even promoting myself. I love that for me. Conspiracy theory that I believe in the least is definitely probably reptilian shapeshifters, actually, because I just think it's too stupid. Like, it's too, my mind just like can't process it correctly. So sorry if you believe in that, but like, that just ain't it for me. And the one that I hate talking about the most is definitely government conspiracy theories, because people get a little crazy with it. Riley says, I just want you to point out that Ariana says, I'm so fucking grateful for my ex instead of I'm so thankful, because I'm honestly mind blown. I'm confused. And didn't everybody know it's grateful? Do people think it's thankful? Let me know. Curry loves Andrew a lot. I love Andrew Sawicki too, sister. I feel you. Says the mattress warehouse thing. Okay, so I think you're talking about Mattress Firm. You know, Kendall Ray, me referencing Kendall again. I just love her. Kendall Ray actually just did a video on this, and I found makes the most sense, which is that Mattress Firm bought a bunch of other competing mattress places. So like, say that there was like a different mattress store across the street from a Mattress Firm, and it was like a different company. Mattress Firm would buy that and turn it into a Mattress Firm so that they would be like the leading one, which makes the most sense. I don't really think that they're laundering money, but you know, never know. Ella says anything about police corruption. I think police corruption is the reason that half of the unsolved cases aren't unsolved, especially Biggie Smalls, and that's the tea. So guys, here is my finished little gingerbread house. How freaking sweet is that? I tried my hardest. This is also my tarot card station. In case you're wondering, I do read tarot cards. I kind of want to start reading tarot cards for you guys. So if you're seriously interested, email my business email. Thank you. Yep, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about like the JonBenet Ramsey case, these Ariana conspiracy theories. I'm curious. And if you have any specific true crime cases that you want me to talk like about in a full video dedicated to that specific case, let me know, because like I said, I'm finding them very, very interesting as of lately, so let me know. But yeah, that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, because I'm always posting really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye.